Let's move on to a more somber topic. That is Australia's wildfires. They are unprecedented in their size and severity, engulfing much of the nation, especially the coasts. The massive fires so intense, they're setting off a series of bizarre phenomena, including fire-driven thunderstorms, fire clouds, so-called ember attacks as well. With us now at the latest is Sarah O'Connell. She's Yahoo Finance editor-in-chief for Australia and New Zealand. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. We have seen a lot of the footage on the news, of course, of the fires happening there in Australia. Talk to us about the economic toll that these fires are taking.
Hi, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's, as you know, the fires have been raging now since the end of September. It's been absolutely devastating what's been happening here. And as you know, about 8 million hectares. And in comparison, if you want to compare, has been destroyed with the fires. If you want to compare that to, say, the Californian fires, where it was 800,000. So it's about 10 times the size. But what we're looking at in terms of the economic, we won't know the true extent of the economic impact that these are going to have until we can really assess the damages. We're only halfway through the fire season at the moment. And but if you look, Deloitte, for example, did a study before these fires started that estimated that about the natural disasters, and this is before the fires started, the natural disasters would cost the Australian economy about 50 billion a year by 2050. So welcome to 2050 already, because it's going to hit a lot more than that. Here in Sydney, at the Yahoo Finance office here in Sydney, we're in the city, so we're not directly in any danger from fires, but there's been an eerie cloud over the city for the last few weeks, and some days been covered in smoke. And a group of economists have looked at the actual just impact here in the city alone, where we're not even been impacted directly by the fires, is up to about 50 million a day for the days that we're in smoke. Yes.
I am curious. There are articles that we read here in the United States about what's going on there, and you said this is only halfway through your fire season, temperatures, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So how do things, after this is settled and done, how do things change perhaps in Australia? Because the articles here are talking about, do you rebuild, and does it change the way of life for the people who live in this area that's prone to wildfires?
Yeah, so the fires that happened in 2009 down in Black Saturday, where 173 people were killed in those fires. This time is 24 people have died. So the government have pledged $2 billion to rebuild these communities that have been destroyed. We don't know how it's going to be, how they're going to be directly impacted yet. But they are going to have to do a serious review into how we're going to curtail these fires in the future. So one of the ways in which they prevent these fires is what's called backburning, is during the emergencies, where they try and prevent the fires from continuing on. But what they do, fires have been burning here for years, and prescribed and controlled burning is what they're going to look at more. And there's been an intense debate about how much we need to do of that to try and control these in the future. So how people are going to be impacted. So communities have, some towns have been they've been isolated, haven't been able to get access to resources, and their small businesses, healthcare, everything, so it has been completely destroyed. So we're going to have to see how it's going to pan out over the next few months, as we see what the extent of the damage is.
Sarah, Dan Roberts here. I know we're talking about important things like the science and the prevention measures, but I do also want to ask you, we just had the Golden Globes here in the U.S., and a lot of actors were talking about the wildfires, and a lot of them used that opportunity to make it a stance around climate change. A lot of them were saying, make no mistake, this is caused by climate change. So what is happening there has also started, it's become a political debate, yet another one here in the U.S. Is that happening where you are, and is some of the conversation around that the climate debate?
Oh, absolutely. And this has really brought it to the fore. These fires have really brought climate change it's not something that's happening. It's right here. It's right now. And there's a lot of anger towards the current government at the moment about their stance on climate. Scott Morrison, who's the Prime Minister here, he was on holiday in Hawaii during these fires, and also the Minister of Emergency Services was also on holiday in Europe, but they both returned. And the discussion is, well, we know there's no scientific like it's not absolute that these fires are directly impacted by climate are caused by climate change, but it is definitely something that the government are going to have to be more serious about in the future. Russell Crowe, obviously, Russell Crowe, Kate Blanchett at the Golden Globes, as you mentioned, came out and said this is directly as a result of climate change.
Sarah O'Carroll, a Yahoo Finance editor-in-chief for Australia and New Zealand. Thank you so much, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Thanks a million, guys.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.